Hi there, welcome to Wednesday's Feng Shui tip. Today's tip is, all of today's stuff is kind of based on the element of the wood energy. Now, wood energy is creative energy. Wood, out of the 5 Chinese elements, is the only element that creates itself. It seeds, it germinates, pollinates, it wants more of itself. So in classical Feng Shui, we're talking about live plants, fruits, vegetables, weeds, trees, grass, wildflowers, you name it. And so it's alive, right? It's a creative force. And so it speaks to past, present, future. You know, if you're looking at the roots of a plant, the stalk of the plant, and then the fruit that it bears, the leaves or the nuts or whatever that it bears. So how do we then apply that wood energy and bring it into our space? Well, one way to do that is to visit the sectors, the directions of our home that represent that wood energy. And one of them is the east. The east sector is all about that family and ancestors, past, present, and future, and community, and connections, and networking, and service, and that kind of thing. It's a compassionate energy, right? Because if we think about the plants, say, you know, the plants in a garden or an area even in your front yard or in the forest, when one tree or one patch of your grass gets sick, it can easily infect the rest of the forest or the rest of your yard. That shows to the empathy of this sector. So we want to make sure that this sector is, so, you know, reflecting our connection to our past, where we are now, in what we foresee in the future, or what gifts we want to take from the past and the now into the future. And so, as you can see, I'm sitting in my stairwell because my east sector is my stairs. And so stairs are kind of a funky energy because the energy is going up and it's going down. Now, if your stairs are used a lot, that's good, right? Because that means the energy is flowing up and down. And so I have stairs that go from the main level upstairs to the second floor, as well as stairs from the main level down into the basement. And I'm just going to show you the main level upstairs here as an example, because it's not a very big area that I get to really honor this east energy or my family and ancestors. So one thing I've done here, I'm going to flip the camera around, is having a big plant. You know, having a big potted plant. I've got plastic in there because I have a cat that likes to dig in the dirt. And as you can see, I have, you know, a piece of artwork here that has 3 sayings with 3 images to it. The number 3 star, or the 3 in numerology, also represents this space. Remember, it's like past, present, future. So I've got my plant, and I've still got, you know, kind of a transitional temporary blinds here. This is such a weird space because I have neighbors right there. Haven't quite figured out. I love the light in this space. It definitely helps this plant, but I also want the privacy because it shows upstairs. Of course, I've got my annual and my monthly cure card. I have a rabbit in the windowsill because the rabbit of the Chinese astrology, this is where he lives, is in the east sector. He's very much about family, right? And taking care of and nurturing. He's a very busy energy, and he's a creator, right? The rabbits are pretty busy. As you can see, I have my saltwater cure because the 5 star of instability is in the east sector, and you can see my cat's been gnawing at this paper blinds here. And then this is where I placed my altar. This is a place, so if I'm just going to move over here. So when I'm walking upstairs, this is what I see and what I get to greet. All my family members, of course. And I've got lots of incense here. I've got a feather with a piece of wood wrapped in green that Kuan Yin is holding. The feather is representative of wind, and wind is also wood energy. I've got some gifted Buddhas from Bali, a Tibetan prayer wheel. See, a lot of this stuff represents the past here for me, right? And then a lot of it is about the present, right? Growing, the sprouts, actually the future. I do have one family member that a child who has a rabbit in their chart. So this is my ode to him, even though he doesn't really know it. But this is just a small space. Oh, and this, I absolutely love this piece. A friend made this tree, because remember, this is wood energy here. And it's vibrant. It's like, gosh, this looks like a garden with all of these colors. And you can see all the fun beads and how she's wired all of these things together. So it's just about being mindful of your space and really taking a step back, looking at what's important to you and how you can symbolically represent these things so that you're activating. When you activate a space like this, it's kind of like saying, I see you. I see what you mean to me and my family, and I want to honor this. And so I think that's it. So go take a look at the east sector, the east direction or the east corner of your home, and see if it speaks to your relationship with your family and ancestors, your past, where you are now, and where you imagine your family being. And the creativity that's involved with that, and the networking, and the life-giving force that it brings. Connect with that. If you see that it's not reflecting that, then maybe you've got some changes to make. Maybe you have a plant in a different room that you could bring over into that sector. Or maybe you have something, some family pictures or an heirloom that you could bring over into this east sector to honor that. Because, it's not like every time I go, oh, I'm so grateful for this plant sitting here, or there's my son, the little rabbit sitting in the window. But what happens when we place something with a purpose, and even with a little prayer, what it does is every time I walk by this space, or a family member does, it triggers the subconscious to recall the honoring, to call the reverence and the respect and the awareness of our connections. So let me know what you think about this, if you find this helpful, and if you make any changes to your space, or if you're like so many of you, my students and my clients, I go into your homes, and it just absolutely amazes me how intuitive you already are, that you've already placed, the hutch from your grandmother in that space, or you already have your family photos over here. Or a big tree sitting in the east window. So anyway, I'd love to hear from you. This is a sacred space. Yes, it's the hallway, but it's still sacred nonetheless. It's part of my home, and it's a transition place for my family to go up and down in life. So have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you later. Bye.